Guys, give me your names and spell it for me.
I'm Muriel Mittelstrass, Muriel, and Mittelstrass is Mittelstrass as in Sam on the end.
And I'm Günther, Guenter, same last name.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about wow, I can't talk. Tell me a little bit about yourselves. What kind of things do you like to do? Tell me about your family.
You go first. Or should I go first? Whatever.
Go ahead.
I go up, okay. I used to work for a living, and I've been now retired almost 4 years. And my favorite pastime is to play bridge. And I used to play tennis, and used to go skiing, but those bones, they're all worn out now, so they don't let me do it anymore. So now it's your turn.
And I am the office manager of an elementary school. We have 640 kids, which is a very busy place, let me tell you, which is what equates to some of the things you're going to ask. And I am from Montana, from a ranch in Montana. So we are a family that is sort of in both sides of the country. In the dry Montana, sometimes I don't know if I should be on a horse or be here in a boat. So, but I like it. We're very happy here. And
Yeah, and
we have a German background that we share. Günther's from Berlin. My family's all German also. So it takes a German to live with a German, I guess.
She's more German than I am. That's what people say.
That's great. So how long have you guys been married?
Well, we've been married since 1968, so we are getting on to 43 years. Same partner.
Wow, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
great.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about it. How did you guys meet?
It's a good one. She was working at a college in Portland, Oregon, and I was selling her boss equipment. And one of the people I was working with, he was asking me whether I'm single. And I said, yeah. So he said, yeah, I have a date for you. So I introduced myself to her. She was working there and said, okay, I want to have a date with you. And on the first date, I asked her to marry me. And that was it. 6 months later, we were married. I knew right away that was the right person to share my life with.
Well, it was kind of a shock to me. I lived with 4 girls, and I had been engaged before. And they all said, I said, oh, you'll never believe this fellow asked me to marry him. And they said, well, they don't really know you. He doesn't know you very well. So.
I didn't.
But it turned out that with our German background, we have a lot of actually similarities in our whole life, actually. So it worked out. It's right.
Sure it is. Still working.
So tell me about that date and the events that led up to him proposing to you.
You want to tell? You go ahead. Your story's better.
Yeah. Well, we actually, the entire time that we were dating, his mother was visiting from Europe, from Berlin. And so it was a little bit difficult. So we sort of traveled around the country so I could show him Montana and show her the way the United States was, because we had some very interesting comments from Europeans about how big this country was when they would come to visit and so forth. And as we got acquainted, she was not very happy because her son was going to be staying in the United States. And my mother was not very happy because I was going to be moving to Germany, she thought. So it went from there, and
It was tough.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy as, it was quite a thing, but we had a wonderful time together, and it was
Better
meant to be.
without the mothers.
Yeah, better without the mothers, that's right. For sure.
So tell me, when he proposed to you, what was going through your mind?
Oh my gosh, I was pretty shocked that I said yes. Because
Well, you didn't say yes right away.
No, and then I after I thought about it a little bit, I thought, what am I doing? I don't even hardly know this person. And so then I said, you know, I think I better reconsider this whole thing because I don't play bridge. And I did not speak German, but I understood German because of my German background. But in general, I was thinking, how is this going to fit? But being an adventuresome spirit, I guess, and I guess I just was falling in love, so.
She fell in love. Anyway, so I gave her 6 months, after we had a date. And so that was it then, basically. We were dating from that time on forward. And, then we decided we were going to get married. And so we did, within 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was kind of sad, though, in some ways, because we lost my brother in Vietnam, and we didn't know whether or not we were going to have to postpone the wedding. So we had some ups and downs during that time because that was extremely sad.
Yeah, I met her entire family in Montana during the funeral, and it was a pretty sad situation. But 3 weeks later, we did firm our dates and got married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a really, really romantic story.
Well, we feel so fortunate.
Yeah, that's right.
And you guys have been happily married for nearly 50 years now.
Yep.
Well, we have our ups and downs, but they're more ups.
Yeah, thankfully.
And so tell me about your relationship with each other, your intimacy. You guys have been very close, and you guys have been. Tell me how deep in love you guys are and were and are.
Well, there wouldn't be anybody else for me. Some people think, well, if you lose your partner or something like that, that it would be, they might want another companion or something, but not me. I have my life companion and always would.
I like that. I feel the same way. We have a very close-knit family. We have a daughter and a son, and the daughter lives here in our area in Shoreline. And so we see her a lot, and we are very much alike. She got married, and we like her husband. And, it just couldn't be any better, let's put it this way.
Yeah,
We're very
feel
happy
very,
and
very
close.
Fortunate. Yeah. We have a lot of blessings in our life.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you have a great family.
We think so.
Yeah.
So we're going to jump right into the snoring. So
Okay.
Who's the snorer?
I'm the one.
Big
And-
time.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is this: when you do snore, you don't know. The only thing I did find out when she was giving me this poking, and then I turned over and was quiet, I think, for a while. But then it got bad, so I went to see an ENT, and he said to me, well, there are two options you have. One is that we need to operate or have surgery to remove that phlegm or whatever you want to call it, or you get a device and put that and try it out. So I said, well, what kind of device? And he was recommending then ZQuiet. So I went to the website, was shipped to me, used it, it worked. But our dog ate it. So it didn't work anymore. It chewed it up. So I had to wait to get another one. And so I do have this now permanently. And according to her, it works. We have a better sleep now. And so everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She moved back into our bed.
Well, you can just imagine, if you're the office manager of an elementary school with 640 kids, you can imagine what my days are like. And to go to work and be absolutely so dog tired that you couldn't even hardly, do anything. But yet you had to do it, was really getting too much for me. And so that's why
She moved out.
I kept asking him to do something, and eventually this was the outcome of it, thankfully, because this thing, I couldn't believe that it really worked, frankly.
Well, it
You know, I
does.
really couldn't. I thought, this is the simplest thing. We could have had this for years, even though his snoring got worse and worse and worse and worse as we were married. And then finally, we just had to do something. So
We
that's
did.
why. And he didn't want to do anything, so I just moved out so that it made it very clear that,
Then I did something about it.
and I knew he would probably then.
Yeah, and she came back.
Yeah.
Let's rewind a little bit back. And when did the snoring problem start, and for how long were you guys sleeping separately?
We tried to figure this out. Time goes quite fast. I would give it a good guess for about 6 months or so.
But it had been going on for a long time.
That's when she was moving out.
Yeah. And when it would be the worst, then I would leave in the middle of the night, but it might not be, you know, it was just so hard to continue to do that all the time, and it got to be worse and worse and worse. And that's why eventually it was just necessary for us to do something. And
How frustrated were you that you had to sleep in this kind of situation?
I hated it.
Yeah, I didn't like it
Still,
either.
I couldn't sleep.
But she did sleep then and felt better. But with this ZQuiet, that piece in my mouth now, everything is just rosy again. So I'm
But it was very difficult, and it was difficult to make the decision to move out because I didn't want to, but it was self-preservation. You know, and there's just after a while you have to just do something for yourself, and that's what I finally came to the
She did?
conclusion because he's a stubborn German, you know.
Yeah. But now things are on the up.
And Gunther, being married for nearly 50 years, how did it make you feel that she had to sleep separately from you because of the snoring?
I mean, it is tough to say because when you're married, you like to be together. And I knew that she was getting a better sleep in another room, and I knew she needed it, but it was not a very good setup, you know, being in a different room. And so that's when I decided to have to do something about it, and then saw the ENT, and that helped things, and that's where we are right now. And it hasn't been that long yet. I'd say, about a month or 2 months I've used this now, and it just works.
Yeah, works like a charm.
It's really very satisfying to have her back in our bed,
Thank you.
our bed.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Great answer. And so, when you guys describe to me like a day after a poor night's sleep because of the snoring.
Well, she's probably better to explain that because, I mean, she was the one who lost the sleep, and she was tired.
Well, but on the other hand, one of the main things that I worried about was the fact that I knew he wasn't sleeping, and I could tell that it was affecting his personality. So he went from the couch after dinner to the couch, and then fell asleep immediately. And I could tell just by, you know, he was crabby, he was irritable, he was short-tempered, and it wasn't getting any better, it was getting worse. And that had to do with the fact that he wasn't sleeping also. So as much as, and I knew, in fact, there were times that I wanted to get up in the night so badly and take my phone and take a picture of him or record really how loud it was, because he couldn't even imagine, you know, that it was keeping me awake. And, but after a while, my biggest concern was also for him, was that it was, you know, the lack of sleep was affecting his life too. And so then I decided, no, I have to take the bull by the horns, and we have to do something, whatever it was. This was the simplest thing that I even could imagine, because to me, surgery isn't really an option in a case like this.
Well, and my doctor, he said, you know, that the surgery is not something permanent. it apparently somehow grows back or something like this. And so when he mentioned it, ZQuiet, and I went onto the website, read about it, and bought it. Yeah, and I called him back and said, pass it on, it works. And so it worked.
And I think he was
get better sleep.
he was a difficult case, I think, probably, because of how loud his snoring was and how long it was. And we never really knew whether he had sleep apnea, but the doctor evidently didn't think that, because that was why we researched it through the doctor.
Because it does say that if you have the sleep apnea, not to use that ZQuiet device. And so I didn't want any surgery. I went that route, and I'm glad I did, because our life is on a better mood now because we get enough sleep and we're happy.
Yep, we're crazy about it.
So describe to me what his snoring was like when it was in a really, really bad night.
Well, if you can picture, you know how you see in cartoons where you see the roof, when somebody snores, the roof comes up and the roof goes down and the roof goes up. That's how bad it was. That's how loud it was. That's how long it was. And all I could think of when I was laying there, at first I would think, okay, well, it's gonna stop. So, I did my poking and my kicking and my, but I thought, in this day and age, there has got to be something simple to help somebody like this that can help both of us. So let's get to it and do something about it.
I have a little thing to add. It had to be so loud, the snoring, when we were sleeping apart. Our dog was sleeping with me, and she left the room too. It was too loud.
That's sad. Even the poor dog had to get away from it.
She's a big dog too.
Yeah. So to describe to me that first night again, when you used the ZQuiet and it was working. Describe that for me.
My part, well, I put it in, I followed the directions, before I turned the light off. I put it in my mouth the way it's supposed to, it tells you exactly. And to me, it fit right into my face. I could tell that the lower jaw, the lower jaw was pushing forward because of that device, and that opened the passage for air to go to where it had to go, and that took care of it. The next morning, I took it out, washed it, and everything was fine from then on.
And I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking, well, he's gonna snore pretty soon. Pretty soon it's gonna come out or something's gonna happen and it's not gonna work. It just couldn't be this simple, And so I was awake on and off most of the night waiting for something to happen, and it didn't. So then I thought, well, maybe the next night. So it took me about 2 or 3 nights before I really felt that it was gonna work and that I was really gonna be able to sleep. Because I'm a good sleeper, but you get kind of conditioned to not sleeping. And sure enough, it worked night after night.
What happened after it was all broken? The dog ate it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have one for, I don't know, a week or so.
Start snoring again.
There's the truth to it, so it does work.
Mm-hmm.
Could you briefly tell me the story about how you got the ZQuiet and the dog ate it?
How?
Yeah, could you?
How it did it?
Yeah,
Well,
could you briefly tell me the story of when you got the ZQuiet,
Yeah.
you used it, it worked, and then your dog ate it?
Well, what happened is it was a big Weimaraner dog, and she.
Okay, start from the beginning when you
Oh,
got that.
well,
tell me
I
the
put
whole
it
story
away.
quickly.
Okay. Well, after I put it out in the morning, I left it on our counter for our vanity, during the day. And apparently she just thought, hey, there's something I can eat. She was always hungry. And so she ate it. It was totally destroyed. And she ate everything, not just the ZQuiet. But other things, which were candy, she was a very hungry big dog.
And when I came home from school that day, Gunter said, "You will never believe what happened today. Everything was so perfect, and now CJ ate, and I couldn't believe it either. Ate the ZQuiet, and so we sort of had to laugh, but we sort of didn't laugh either because first of all, of the money, and we knew we could get another one." But then we sort of really had to laugh because we thought, just the fact that she had picked that one thing out to eat, and that was one of the things that was very important to us.
Yeah, right.
Not to eat.
Yeah, and then I waited, until I got a new one. It took about a week. And that's when, according to her, I started snoring again. So, but now we got it again and everything is fine.
Are you guys glad that you tried ZQuiet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, made all the difference in the world in our whole life, I think. I mean, we would have kept looking for something if this hadn't worked. This was not the end all to be all. If it didn't work, we were going to continue to do something because, first of all, I didn't like being in the other bedroom, and neither did Gunter. He didn't like me there. But what recourse do you have when your quality of life is diminishing because of something that it's disruptive? And so it was one of the simplest things that we could have done. And I don't know why we waited so long to find it, frankly.
Well, yes,
But
we tried.
Mr.
and-
German person here.
Well, when you are this snorer, you don't really know that you snore. It's the person next to you, in this case, who hears it and suffers more, other than maybe that I didn't get the right sleep. But with ZQuiet now, I feel better. I don't go to sleep after dinner on the couch. I'm still around before she goes to bed. And so I would recommend ZQuiet to anybody who has the snoring dilemma, because I hear from friends and so forth, snoring is not something only for very few people. And it seems to me that the older you get, the more snoring comes up. And so if I find somebody, who has trouble with snoring, I definitely say, well, ZQuiet is the way to go.
And women have it too. Maybe someday I'll have it. Pay you back.
You snore a little bit once in a while, but nothing like I do, I guess. Or did.
That's for you guys. 25. Okay, great. Just a couple quick answers. Who loves the ZQuiet more, Gunther or Muriel?
Me.
I'm sorry, use the question
Muriel.
answer again.
Oh, yes. Muriel Mittelstrass loves the ZQuiet more than Gunter Mittelstrass because my life is so much better now that, first of all, I'm close to him and can function at my job like I should without being exhausted. And also that he did do something about it eventually. I like that too.
Good.
Yeah.
And I like it because apparently I get better sleep and I'm a better husband. So ZQuiet is the way to go.
Beautiful. I love that one. I love that one. Very good. All good? Okay, great. So we're just gonna get some fun shots of you guys, some fun video guys. Can you show me how you guys dance?
How we
What kind of dance?
Any kind of dance.
Twist?
Like on a rope. Whatever you want to do. A do twist.
Twist?
Something romantic or...
Romantic, we can
something
do that.
Yes.
Oh, we can do romantic stuff.
Yeah.
Can we not?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
We don't glide too well, and my rubber soles don't work too well, but
No, that's right.
little twisting. Like a choppy checker.
I get
Little rock and roll.
I get a side ache when I twist.
Rock and
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah.
We
rock
can
and
do
roll.
that.
Yep, we can do that. That's easier. That's a
This
lot
is
better.
our kind of music.
Yeah, this is our kind of music. That's right.
All right. And now how about just like, just hug each other, just kind of be intimate. And,
Oh,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
guys love each other.
We
You
love
guys are
that.
almost, you guys are almost at your 50-year anniversary.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We like it.
Yep.
And we'll be around for a while. Because we take care of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think sleep helps.
Yeah.
Sleep helps.
And we got a very close family with our kids. So we keep young. Don't we?
Yes, we
Good.
Yes. Yeah. Yep, we do.
Nice. Great. Okay, I think that's it. Great. Thank you guys so much. You guys
You're
were
welcome. Good.
wonderful.
Oh,
You
good,
guys
good.
were great. Thank you so much.